Hi, this is Sarah Lacey from TechCrunch TV, and I'm here with Steve Martocci, who is part of GroupMe, which is probably one of our more famous graduates from the hackathon. Wouldn't you say?
I would say so.
If you do say so yourself. Now, you guys were at the New York
First one,
Disrupt,
yeah.
the first one, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first time TechCrunch was doing something in that market. Why did you guys decide to come out for the hackathon?
So I actually had my first hackathon experience like a month or two earlier. I was a guild group at the time. We did an internal hackathon, and it was a great experience. Like, it was a chance to work on whatever you wanted to, and I built something and I won. And I won an iPad, which was great. But I was really ready to take it to the next level and see how big I could get with a hackathon project. So I knew I wanted to enter the TechCrunch hackathon because it was the biggest way to get exposure. But the idea wasn't originally to go and build GroupMe. That happened to come up like a day or two before. But I knew it was a great stage, and I guessed it was going to be a great opportunity.
So how much of the experience is just kind of serendipity and the people that you're around and the environment and what you come up with, and how much of it is, you went in there knowing what you were going to do and you just executed it?
There's a great mix of that. Like, we knew what we wanted to do, and we found a little room and just sat down and executed. But the great thing was there was so many great people there, and people who could help you, and great resources, food, everything you needed to stay up all night, all the Red Bull you needed, and it was a wonderful experience. The first one was really special for me.
So is part of it just knowing that you're not a total weirdo because you like to be awake for 48 hours coding things?
That's definitely part of it. When you see other people there, and they're so motivated, you really, it gets I get a little competitive in it. It's like, well, what can I do in 24 hours? I really want to show the world that I can do something big. But so it really helps. And everyone's really friendly too. So it's a great mix of getting people who are really passionate about programming together.
Mm-hmm. What were some of the surprises that came out of the experience?
Well, I was surprised that we actually got our app to work so well after one day. And we didn't win or anything either. But the most surprising thing was the people that I met there. I stayed in touch with for a long time. We would see each other at a lot of New York tech events. Some would even go to when we went back to Disrupt in San Francisco for the hackathon, people from New York were there. Mm-hmm. And there's an interesting little community and a lot of great developers that you met along the way that I'm still friends with. So.
Mm-hmm. You should come to the China one.
Yeah, sure.
Make even more friends.
Yeah, buy me a plane ticket.
That we are in the business of just buying everyone plane tickets to China. That is how the conference economics work. So you guys didn't win, but you won the broader prize in life. You've been acquired for somewhere between $5 and $85 million. There's been some debate.
It's a great range. I like that range. Yeah, I mean, the whole experience for us was a win. Like, you didn't need to win the contest. Getting to build that app, feeling motivated about your product, being happy with where you got to in 24 hours, and then winning the tickets to Disrupt alone was valuable. Mm-hmm. We went back on the floor. I think it was the third day of Disrupt. I was walking around, and a friend of mine introduced me to a bunch of VCs. Mm-hmm. And I'm the guy who knew nobody going into this. Mm-hmm. My co-founder Jared knew all the VCs, but I didn't even know who Ron Conway was when I started. Don't tell him that.
I think you just did. This is on video.
He's the best. I have nothing but love for him now. We've had an amazing relationship with him. But that was the big thing. Like, TechCrunch, the people who are there when you're building, the judges with their great feedback, the exposure for being on stage, and then being able to attend the conference, all amazing things. There's no reason not to go.
Yeah, one thing that we're hearing now that we're putting together this conference in China is a lot of entrepreneurs kind of saying, is this something that's for me? Am I experienced enough? Am I far enough along? And, I'm trying to get across to the community there that it's like, we want the rawest entrepreneurs possible. Like, that's typically who comes out for our events. I mean, what would be your advice for someone who sort of doesn't know if either the hackathon or even the battlefield is really something for them?
Yeah, well, for sure, the hackathon is a no-brainer, right? Whether you're not even a programmer, you should go and meet people. It's a great chance to network. It's a great chance to build something fun. And you don't have to go in there being an entrepreneur. You just want to build something. It's a great developer empowerment moment. you're sitting in your office all day building, sometimes things other people want you to build. Go try out some new open source software and see how fast you can build something you want in 24 hours and show it to the world. I mean, you don't have to go in there saying I'm going to build a company. Just show off what you're doing. Have fun. Try a new piece of software. And if you're not a developer, find a team you can help out with. Jared, my co-founder, locked our first advertising deal in those 24 hours. Made business cards, bought our domain name, and it was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So for that, I recommend everybody. On the battlefield, I've just watched them. I haven't participated in them. And you see companies at all different stages, really early on, really far. I mean, there's no better experience to get in front of that kind of audience. You reach so many people.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Steve, and all the kind words. And congratulations on I think you guys are our first exit from the hackathon.
That's awesome. That's great.
And we're on your new parent company, Skype.
It's fun. It's a 360. It's all kind of full circle.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Sarah.